episode of Wood River Basin in Cities Skylines. This is my Southwest Idaho inspired build, a little bit of high desert and a little bit of low farmland, I guess you could say. Anyway, we are kicking things off with episode 8. I know we jumped around a bit, but we got a lot to cover. First off, if you didn't see, episode 7 I did not actually make. If you're wondering, how's there an episode 7 if I didn't make it? That's because Officer Lee, a good friend of mine, he jumped in and started work on the airport for the main downtown city. It looks amazing. You can check out the video on his channel. You can also find it in the linked playlist, and the video will pop up literally right here, up in the top right corner. Check that video out if you haven't yet. I highly recommend it because he knows a heck of a lot more about airports than I do. Regardless, I'm super excited to bring you episode 8. It should be pretty good. We're starting the downtown, and I know that episode 6 of Wood River Basin was a live stream, and I kind of spoiled the downtown. We're going out of order here. This episode actually, holy cow, we were sitting on it for a while. I really apologize. That's because he and I trying to work out the details of editing. He has another video as well to come. That should be episode 9, I think, that Lee will take over, and then I'll be back. But regardless, it should be pretty good. I'm excited for it. The work that he does is really cool, and so I think it reflects well in the city. And I'm just excited to have some more expertise on the airport, because frankly, I don't know anything about airports, not to the level that he does, so that'll be pretty cool. Anyway, what we're doing today is we're actually starting the downtown block. Basically, the city is in a whole lot of need for commercial and some sort of industry, business. So we're not doing industry today. Instead, because of the downtown, we're going to be tossing in a whole lot of offices, a lot of high-density residential, and a lot of high-density commercial. What a downtown is, basically. So that's what we're doing today in this time-lapse. There's no live play or anything, but I figured it'd be pretty cool. So the main focuses in this downtown here, really, you can see the building which prominently takes over the skyline is the Zions Bank building. That is actually a model from Utah. However, one of the larger cities in downtown Boise is actually the Zions Bank building. For those that don't know, Boise is the capital of Idaho. And that's what I'm basing this main downtown city off of, just for reference sake, although there's going to be a whole lot going in. Anyway, what I'm trying to do is squeeze in the parking garages, but this block here you saw me take out roads, and this is going to be the other main focus of the downtown, at least for this specific build, but it's going to be a big plaza, so I guess you could call it a park. In the future, this is another thing I do want to talk about a little bit. In the future, I guess we can zone it as an actual park with Parks DLC. But just so you know, the main focus of the downtown right now is going to be that Zions Bank building. That is going to be the tallest building in the city. I don't want it to be a huge skyline or anything. It looks really good. So there's that. Another thing is this plaza. It's going to be, obviously, that it's a large space, so it takes up quite a lot of room. But I think it looks good, and we'll get there. I guess I should talk about it now because I did say I was going to talk about it. In terms of DLC, we're a little behind. However, in 2 episodes time, I believe, so episode 10? Trying to do my math here. Yeah, this is episode 8. Officer Lee's gonna do episode 9, and then I'm back with I can't talk. Back with episode 10. That is when we actually finally have the Park Life and Industries DLC. 2 very big game changers, which I'm excited to have in the game, quite frankly. Especially for this city, I think it would be amazing. And also, I hate having to call it this city because we don't have a name for it. Wood River Basin is the name of the overall area. In Idaho, it's the Treasure Valley. but Boise is the capital city. I really want some name suggestions because I am not that creative. I can't be that creative. If you have ideas, feel free to drop a comment down below. Seriously, I would love to hear some name suggestions, and not just for the downtown city, for any of it. For stories, lore, anything surrounding this build. I think it would be great to get the community involved on this, so definitely drop some suggestions if you have them, because I'd love to hear it. I think it's super cool. Anyway though, we're starting more with this plaza. I really toyed around with different building designs. One thing I've noticed is a fun strategy for me is to have Google Earth pulled up on my second monitor if I have a actual like inspiration or reference to build off of, and then basically what I try to do is create it as much of a like mirror image, a full recreation as possible. But because of the limits in City Skylines and because of not having the exact assets, you end up with something that looks different. And also, I mean, I'm not the best builder, but I definitely have my own style that gets tossed in there, and so I think it's really cool to see what comes out of me trying to recreate it exactly. I'm not going to throw in any Google Earth. Seriously, I can't talk today. Not going to toss in any Google Earth today. We don't really need it, because the reference was a little bit different. But basically, the idea here is it's some sort of plaza. We end up putting in some stalls, sort of like tents for markets, trading, stuff like that. And then it's just a good fun time, you know. It's kind of like an urban park. It's a break from the actual buildings and an excuse to get in there. Regardless though, we keep moving on here. So again, I am trying a slightly different style of commentary, which I talked about in episode 5, which was a long time ago because we had the live stream and then we had Lee's video. But regardless, I am trying a slightly new style of commentary where I plan out talking points, and even though it still sounds like I'm rambling sometimes, because honestly I am, before I just kind of like spit out whatever sounds good, and I think it wasn't that good. It didn't flow that good. So I'm hoping that this new style feels a lot more planned and professional. So if you like it, let me know. I also think that there's way less dead air, which isn't good for me trying to figure out what I want to talk about. I'm just doing that ahead of the time now. Also, I am such a like binge player of City Skylines. I haven't touched it for like a month. Obviously, we had that downtime. However, now I'm like addicted again, and I really want to keep going with it. I almost want to try to get an episode out every week. I think if I were to do that, it would be on Wednesdays. I know this video is going up on a Friday. Sorry, but you know, I will probably do Wednesdays. So then Mondays we'll have our either 5M or LSPDFR, and then Farm Sim on Friday. Normally, but again, for this week at least, this video is going out on a Friday. And if you're watching it on a Friday, congrats. It makes sense. If you're not, then it doesn't make sense. Anyway, though, so as I said, the previous episode is on Officer Lee's channel. You can find it linked. I seriously recommend you check it out. He is close to 100 subs, so give him a little boost. He's been playing City Skylines for ages. Just hasn't made a whole lot of videos on it, but it'd be super sick to show him some love. Anyway, another thing, as I said, there was the live stream on YouTube. If you are a more avid viewer of this channel, you may recognize that I used to stream a lot, but now I don't. However, I'm here to correct you. I still stream a lot, just over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/MaxmovLive, if you want to check that out. I will probably do a couple YouTube streams here and there, but I honestly feel like streaming Wood River Basin as much as I can, and even streaming and then taking those the streams and turning them into episodes, so that you guys can get a little taste. You can see there, as I'm still kind of learning the tricks, because I'm not a super dedicated cities builder. I forgot about collision as I destroyed that building. But we could talk about a little bit of what's going on screen right now, all the buildings throwing in. There's a lot of these really cool older brick buildings, which Boise downtown is actually a mix of new buildings, renovated older buildings, and just older buildings in their current state, which is super sweet, honestly. I think it's super cool. Right here you can see me trying to figure out what to do with those connections. What I can do eventually is come back once I have the park DLC. I just didn't have it at the time of recording this, but we now have it, so I can come back and turn that actual plaza into a park, which would attract tourists, you know, which is realistic. People would go there. It's a hotspot in Boise. But what I was saying, downtown Boise has a lot of alleyways, and so any kind of awkward space in between buildings here, I use that as a way, basically, of filling that in by putting roads down, putting parking lots, because a city block is not just like a bunch of buildings smacked together. There is room in between. There's back lots, there is some like parking, alleyways, stuff like that. So that's something that I think makes it realistic and is pretty cool. And in terms of the structure of the city, you can see these blocks are going to be the densest in terms of the urbanization. On the north side, it starts to get a little smaller, and it does, I mean, it does get smaller in terms of size, and then that kind of slowly declines into the residential areas and the low density commercial. But we will expand to the east and the west more in terms of dense urbanization. So the north blocks and the south blocks will start to be more lower density. You can see these lower buildings here in the plaza. In real life in Boise, they're actually a convention center. It's just commercial, just low density commercial, and I think it looks good, honestly. I'm really a fan of how it turns out, because I think it looks pretty good. One thing I really like about this series is that it's forcing me to build more and perfect my techniques, if you can call it perfecting. But I am feeling a lot better with my building skill, and hopefully you can see that in the videos as well. But I'm really enjoying City Skylines, and it's always a blast to get in here and play. So we're filling this in more. I think it looks really, really cool. I am honestly a fan of it. There's, because, you know, it looks cool. And it does get a lot of people in. Obviously the game's paused right now, but there's a lot in there that we can do, and hopefully it bumps the population up. Anyway, so kind of running out of my talking points, which is totally fine. I will say, in terms of my next projects, I will be starting the education, because I build a lot off camera, honestly, and what happens there is that all of these offices are running out of educated people. So we have an elementary school. It's actually one of the buildings in the downtown actually functions as a elementary school, so we have that level of education. However, we still need more, so we need like a university coming soon or something like that. So at some point we'll do high schools and universities and stuff, so that'll probably be in a future episode. However, the next episode after Officer Lee, as I said, so that'll be episode 10. Officer Lee has episode 9. I need to do my counting. Anyway, though, the next episode that I will be doing is taking advantage of the toys that the Industries DLC gives us and playing around with that, which should be pretty darn cool. So we're actually going to set up some forestry and stuff like that. At least that's the goal. We'll see what happens. Regardless, though, I think it should be pretty fun, and I'm excited to see what that brings. So if you're new here, really subscribe. But we are getting towards the end of the episode, so I can start to roll out my outro here. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like on the video because it really does help show your support and it does bring new people to the channel. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you stay up to date on all of my content. Also, check me out at twitch.tv/MaxmovLive. Hope to see you there as I stream. Anyway, though, if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, or suggestions, especially that last part, suggestions, I'd love them. Drop a comment down below and let me know what you think I should do or have in the city. Anyway, my name is MaxmovLive. Thank you guys so much for watching. Gonna turn up the music, we're gonna hit some cinematics, and I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching.